Hi, this is Scott. Welcome back to the MAMIL Channel. So in this Meet the Mammal video, I'm just going to spend a few minutes talking about my sort of cycling journey, how I started, how I got to where I am now, the sorts of riding that I do, and also talk through some of the different types of content, different types of videos that you're going to see added to the channel in the coming weeks and months. So I live in the south of England, around the Surrey, Berkshire and Hampshire area. I ride in all three counties, often on the same day, but I ride in other places too, as I'll talk more about in other videos. I've been cycling for 5 years, so I started in July 2014, just after I bought a specialised alley from a friend of mine. So thank you, Martin, for letting me buy your bike. I looked after it well and I used it a lot, as you know. So in the first 6 months that I had the bike through the rest of 2014, I did around about 400 miles. So a decent start. My first full year, I managed to do just over 1,000 miles, which at the time I was really pleased with. Similar the following year, less than 1,500 miles, between 1,000 and 1,500 miles. By that time, I'd bought a different bike. I'd sold the LA on to another friend of mine, and I bought a specialised Roubaix, which I still have now. That's my winter bike now, and the bike that's also set up on my indoor trainer, which I'm going to talk more about in another video. So in 2017, I set myself a target of trying to ride 2017 miles as a minimum. I actually broke the target quite easily. I did 2,400 almost. So I was really pleased with that. Did even more last year in 2018, just broke the 3,000 barrier last year. And so far in 2019, we're coming up to the end of June, so the end of the first half of the year. I should just about do 2,500 miles in the first 6 months of the year. So I'm on for 5,000 this year, which going back a few years when I first started, I could never dream of doing. So, I've really, I found my thing. I love it. I do it loads. And as you can tell, I cycle a lot compared to what I was doing a few years ago. So what type of rides? Well, my first few riding targets were charity rides. I did a 45-mile charity ride, and then a couple of others. And I did a 90-mile charity ride, and then I started down the route of sportives. So in terms of sportives, I've done quite a few all over England actually, including 2 100-mile rides, which I've thoroughly enjoyed. And I'll talk more about those in another video. My longest ride actually is just over 100 miles. It was about 104 miles. That was a training ride that also included some of the Surrey Hills. That was a great ride that day, and I'll quite happily talk more about that one. I'm a member of British Cycling just recently, and I'm also the main cycling that I do, sometimes on my own. A lot of the time it's with members of a Facebook group that I'm a member of called Gearly Beloved. I've made some great friends through that group, and also we had a cycling holiday. I'd never done a cycling holiday before. We went to Mallorca earlier this year. That was fabulous, and I'll do a whole other video about that trip as well. I'm a regular user with Strava to do all my sort of ride logging, and also analysis, and keeping an eye on my cycling pals when I can't get out with them to see what they're up to. I am a Garmin fan. I have a Garmin Edge that I move between my bikes, which is for mapping and route planning and data capture, just like a lot of people do. I'm also a Zwift user. I got into Zwift last winter, over the 2018-19 winter, and that counts towards my miles. They all count, even if they're done indoors on the trainer. So again, I'll talk more about that in another video as well, and I'll show you the gear that I use. I've got a Wahoo Kicker, which I bought about 9 months ago, which I've used quite a lot on Zwift over the winter so far. I don't just use it in the winter. I found even recently with the UK weather, the weather's been pretty horrible for the last 2 weeks. Actually, all my rides have been in the garage again for the last couple of weeks. So, but again, I'll talk more about that. In terms of other videos that I'm going to do for the channel, I'm going to do a series of videos on things like health and weight loss. As you'll hear me talk about, I've lost a lot of weight myself in the last few years, not just through cycling, but it's certainly helped. I'm going to talk more about the gear that I use, the equipment that I have. So my main bike now is a Trek Madone, and I'll do a whole other video about how I was seduced by a Trek Madone on my Mallorca holiday. So I bought one. It's as simple as that. But I'll talk more about that some other time. And I'm also going to talk about clothing as well, from bottom to top, so from shoes to helmets and everything in between. What gear I have, where I get it from. I don't spend a massive amount, I wouldn't have said, on gear. It's all reasonably priced stuff, so in the grand scheme of things. But again, I'll do some videos about that. I'll also talk about cycling holidays, the one that I've done. And future plans, certainly my bucket list of a few future places I'd love to go and ride my bike. And also mention Zwift and my Wahoo kicker. I'm going to do some videos on indoor training and Zwift and other other indoor training tools that I know some of my friends use. So there's a lot to come from the MAMIL channel. So I hope you subscribe to the channel. I know all YouTubers seem to say that at the end of their videos, so I don't see why I should be any different. So give me a like and a subscribe, just like everybody else says. I hope this video has been enjoyable. You'll also find links to my Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook in the description, and also the website where you'll find other updates and links to all of those social media places too. So yeah, thanks for watching this video, and I hope to talk to you again soon. Thanks very much.